Hi everybody, Kat here. Welcome to my channel. Well, right now we are witnessing the consolidation of power amongst the elites as the race to the top and ultimate power against the people continues, and we are seeing this manifest with the help of Justin Trudeau, led by the World Economic Forum, in a direct hit upon the Commonwealth. Now, why would this be happening? The Commonwealth, reigned over by King Charles, comprises 1/3 of the world's population and 1/3 of the world's countries. That's a lot of people under the reign of the king. That's a large, 1/3 of the people, 1/3 of the population of the earth are members of the Commonwealth. That's heady stuff. A lot of people, that's a lot of power. That's a lot of power that the World Economic Forum would like to have. You see these elites now for the longest time, and I've talked about this before, have worked together towards their common goals of really, what people have been talking about for years and said, oh, conspiracy theory, new world order, one world government, digital banking. We're seeing it manifest. I mean, there's no question now that this is what's happening when you see the government policies being put in every country around the world. I mean, they're in lockstep with each other. The climate change and everybody needs a gas boiler, 15-minute, has to get rid of their gas boiler, 15-minute cities. Here in Canada, we pay a carbon tax. Crazy. I mean, crazy stuff. It's to tax and destroy the common people. Same things are happening in Britain. A lot of the same policies you'll see happen across the board in the Commonwealth countries. It's like this is the testing ground for these power grabs against the people. And you see it everywhere. Well, now where does Justin Trudeau come in? How can we say the Commonwealth is under attack? Well, as you know, Canada is one of the largest Commonwealth countries. Our Prime Minister is that little fascist, Justin Trudeau. He's a terrible man. He is an acolyte of Klaus Schwab of the World Economic Forum. And if you've ever researched and read anything Klaus Schwab has had to say about his vision of the future, you know that you don't count. I mean, you don't. They want it all for themselves. And it's bloody obvious now. Well, so anyway, okay, so how this is manifesting and Justin Trudeau's part in it. India, the largest country in the Commonwealth, and Canada are seemingly at war with each other over a faction of the Indian government, a faction of people, the Khalistanis, whom the Indian government characterized as a terrorist faction. Here in Canada, there have been protests and counter-protests between Khalistanis and other Indians living in Canada, living in Toronto specifically. That's the center I'm closest to. There's been protests that sometimes turn violent, to be honest, and one reason this has all erupted was out west in Surrey, BC. An Indian man was murdered outside of his Gurdwala, his place of worship. And this has spouted a lot of violent protests between the two opposing sides. And in India, this is a huge problem because, that's a problem right at home that they're having. And they're accusing Canada, Prime Minister Trudeau, of basically fomenting violence, fomenting division, harboring terrorists, and allowing this to happen equals directly undermining the sovereign government of India, the largest democracy in the world. And this is coming to a head recently, within the last couple of weeks. Prime Minister Trudeau did have meetings in India. He went over. They were to be discussing new trade deals. Well, as usual, whenever Trudeau sets foot in another country, he embarrasses himself. He insults his hosts. And everybody around the world looks at him as like a buffoon. But he's a dangerous buffoon because he's doing the bidding of the World Economic Forum when India accused him of fomenting violence, harboring criminals, and working directly against the British or the Indian government by allowing these protests to go on in Toronto. Trudeau countered with, we believe in the right of free speech, and we believe here in Canada in the right to peaceful protest. And the Indian government just went, oh my God, can you believe this guy? Look at what I've been following some Indian news online, and it's outrageous. They're saying this guy is talking about free speech and freedom to protest peacefully. Look what he did during the Freedom Convoy, February of 21 in Ottawa, where the truckers were opposing vaccine mandates and the rest of the country joined in. It was a peaceful protest for over a week until Justin Trudeau brought his police in. We saw violence, we saw tear gas, we saw people being roughed up and arrested. We saw a horse. We saw a Mountie on a horse trample an elderly woman in a walker at the protest. You tell me what the hell is that? So the world knows that Justin Trudeau is a little fascist. They understand this now. So what do you have? We've got an ongoing dispute between the two largest Commonwealth countries, and this is a tactic that the elite have used over and over and over again, divide and conquer. You cause this kind of dissension between the two largest countries of the Commonwealth. You create friction within the Commonwealth and around the world. But as far as it relates to the Commonwealth, this becomes a problem for King Charles. If the Commonwealth is weakened, the monarchy is weakened. So I'm sure he's looking on this, and I don't know what I think he's powerless. I think he's powerless. And it's not like Charles can go to the world if he he knows what's going on, if he understands what's going on. It's not like he can go to the World Economic Forum and say, hey, man, lay off. This is causing me trouble. Lay off. Because as a member of the World Economic Forum, I mean, his entry was climate change, the environment, all this horseshit that he's pushing. Him and William, in fact. Well, when you're members of the club and you may not like what some of the, club rules are, well, you can't really complain. It's a race to the top. And Klaus Schwab is going right up against King Charles. This is it. This is a heavyweight fight. Who's going to win? This is what happens when you get to the top. I mean, for a long time, they all worked together for a common goal, which is enslavement of the human race. And them running the show. Well, who's them? As you get to the top, now they're fighting each other. And this is why we have the dilemma between the World Economic Forum and the Commonwealth right now. And it's a direct threat to King Charles. How long is it going to take to remove Justin Trudeau? That's another question we have to think about while we watch the goings-on and see what happens. Well, that's all I have for you today. Keep an eye on the news. Do some research, find out what's going on. And we'll talk to you in the next one. Like, subscribe, and leave me a comment. I'd love to know what you're thinking about all this. Have a great day, everybody.